Ozarks till the rails run red. Light that fuse, no time for dread. Oh, we're gonna have a blast on this powder keg. This powder keg. We're gonna have a blast on this powder keg. Shooting through the Ozarks till the rails run red. Light that fuse, no time for dread. Oh, we're gonna have a blast on this powder keg. This powder keg. We're gonna have a blast on this powder keg. Shooting through the Ozarks till the rails run red. Light that fuse, no time for dread. Oh, we're gonna have a blast on this powder keg. This powder keg. We're gonna have a blast on this powder keg. Shooting through the Ozarks till the rails run red. Light that fuse, no time to dread. Oh, we're gonna have a blast on this powder keg.
Alright, what's up everybody? This is Joe from JLW Games coming at you with another cool live stream. We're back in Planet Coaster 2 in the Sword Art City recreation. Hope you guys are having a fantastic evening. Had a little bit of a longer day at work today. I was training at 2 different rides, did some mock evacs. In fact, I did help with the mock evac on Wildfire today. Got to ride it and also helped with the mock evac on Fire in the Hole today, so that was fun. We got to do all that fun stuff, but... Joe, hey, what's up? Also, Noah's in the chat. Nice to see ya. We have a blast on this powder keg. Also, Aaron, what's up? How's it going? Alright, I think today we definitely should look at finishing the Wildfire layout and have a complete layout here. I think that is definitely what we should be looking at. Now, I looked at this today in person, and I think that I made this a little bit too low. It is lower than this side, that is still true, but I think I made this a lot lower than it should be. For sure. So we're gonna... Oh my gosh. What are you doing? And we're gonna snap it so it stays at the right angle there. But anyways, still want to know a hint for the coaster. I rode Wildfire today, and oh my gosh, that construction site. It goes all the way back over here. There are footers up against Wildfire's footers. There's footers up against Powder Keg. There's footers all the way up against this waterfall. All right here. So it's going to take up. And this is like accurate to the floor plan where I got all these rides right now. So it goes... This is all underground right here for American Plunge. It's going to take up all of this area. And it's also going to go wrap around Wildfire over here. There's actually footers that go in a circle right over here. Like you can see where there's going to be a big turn and such. And then there's footers right up against Powder Keg's launch. And yeah, it's big. Which is pretty crazy. It's gonna be so good. It's a pretty big project. That is for sure. Whatever it's going to be. Is it family a thrill coaster? I'm not going to reveal that. Like, I do know, but not something I can really probably say. Alright, we're going to overbank this because when we do the... Alright, you can see the floor plan here. Don't go too banked. Please. I'm not about to get in trouble. The only reason why I know stuff is one of my coworkers' dad works in maintenance, so it's the only reason why I know anything. I mean, I think you can put the puzzles together and figure out if it's family or thrill coaster. I think that those pieces of the puzzle you could probably figure out pretty easily. If you look enough into it, I feel like you can figure it out pretty easily. Hopefully this doesn't get in the way of my supports there. I probably should be looking up more extra references here. I will say an announcement will probably most likely be around in August. There's a lot of people speculating on what it is, and a lot of people are pretty close or spot on. So, with their predictions. So, let's see. I forgot what I was typing. I want to get a better look at this turn to make sure I got it kind of accurate. I don't want to get it wrong. Let's see if we can find a good picture of this turn. This is a picture of the turn, but it doesn't go further than right there. It's a pretty good picture. Right there is a pretty good picture. It's still got some decent distance. I want to see if like the support is just going to if it actually straddles over that or not. I mean, it probably doesn't matter until I get into custom supporting, but yeah, this is considerably higher land than where this ends up right here, so I could probably make it a little higher on the descent as well, because it kind of just goes up and stays at that level. I'm pretty sure. If I look at the POV, I should be able to get that answer. But, anyways, welcome to the stream, guys. A lot of you coming in here. But, what ride am I at this year? I'm at Outlaw Run and Powder Keg again, same as last year. But, I am cross-trained at a lot of rides, and I've been doing a lot of training at a lot of rides lately, so it's going really, really good. Today I trained at Barn Swing and Time Traveler. Tomorrow we do our training at Outlaw tomorrow. The ride's been a little late getting to us, but that's alright. We will have it. Weather is going to be nasty tonight, though. Not looking forward to that. Keep forgetting what I'm here for. See, I need the Wildfire POV, POV. Got the Coaster Force one. Sure, we'll use that one. Why not? There's the top of the lift. We just need after the Cobra roll. And then this turn, basically. I'm pretty close right there. I might just need to make this not dip down as far. And I think we'll be good. Okay, so the supports for this is not straddling over it. So, and I don't think I got the placement of the vertical loop completely perfect here. It probably should be a little further over that way, but yeah. Oh, we're already in a tornado watch at Springfield already. Well, that means it's not too far away from us, I'd imagine. We're gonna have a blast on this powder keg. Shooting through the Ozarks till the rails run red. Trying to debate whether I make this vertical loop, push the vertical loop a little bit further the other direction. Just slightly. I think we can do that. Yeah, big, severe storms tonight. There's chance of tornadoes and all that fun stuff, so it's going to be great. It's sad that Thunderation's going away at the end of this 2026. One of your favorite aero mine trains. It is definitely one of the best ones out there, if not the best. Was there a reason they took out the backwards trains? From what I heard, or the backwards cars, was because Aero never designed it to be able to run backwards, but Silverdar City was running them backwards anyways. So basically, they were just like, if something happens, we're not liable for that. You know, you can't blame us for it. So I think SDC decided to put them back to normal. I don't know how true that is. That's just what I had heard. You know, I didn't work at the park when they took them out, so I didn't work in there until 2013. So I think they've been gone since 2010-ish, somewhere around there. Is everyone from Missouri? I am. Gonna be some crazy storms coming in. Okay, put that there. Why is this not in the right place? Because that... Okay, that would actually be a lot better right there. Overall. The only thing we would have to do is change this turn to fit here. My cat decided he needs to be in front of my monitor, so. Did I make that a good height? Yeah, okay. It's like I need to make sure that is a proper height. St. Louis side of Missouri. Gotcha. Also got Wyatt in here. Now you're on the move to work on this because Dollywood is getting work done. Hey, I'm telling you, I think I'm gonna beat Jake. He's gonna be trailing behind. I'm gonna be like finishing SDC, and he's not gonna be done with his. I'm trying to motivate him to work on his, because I really want him to work on his too. I did have plans on doing this today anyways, so I was planning on working on it to begin with, so. Yikes, this is gonna be a tough transition. And it's gonna require some fun smoothing. Whoa, 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 whoa. No, we're not doing that. Hold on here. Game. What you doing, game? You wanna move to Branson so you can work at SDC? If that's your dream, go for it. I mean, I'll warn you, it's not like the best paying job out there, but if you enjoy it, you know, that's all that matters. Alright, you can see the corkscrew here. Hopefully I can get the shaping on this pretty decent. Moving part is the whole thing, yeah. That would probably be the toughest part. It's moving and all that fun stuff. I feel like we're gonna have to make that a little bit bigger. And then rotate that here and get that to 0. Hopefully I can make this corkscrew look, custom corkscrew look okay. What is the youngest you can be to be a ride operator at SDC? You can start working on rides at the age of 16, but you can't run the operator's booth or do evacuations until you're 18. So you can work on dock and check restraints and stuff and everything when you're 16, but you won't be able to work in the control panel booth until you're 18. So 16 is the youngest you can be overall. Leave behind some of the places I liked frequently visit, like the Butterfly House or the National Museum. Transportation. Yeah, I've been to the Butterfly House once. It's pretty neat. Pretty cool. Gosh, that's 0 right there. Crazy. Okay, so this would be under the brake run, and then we got to do the little helix. Kind of a little helix right here. Hopefully this corkscrew smooths out okay. I hope so. I don't know, would you guys consider this element on a Wildfire corkscrew or a 0G roll? It's kind of like... I've always thought it was a corkscrew, but... Or like maybe a low to the ground 0G roll, kind of. I guess you could call it a 0G roll. Corkscrew, yeah. And corkscrew is kind of like basically a... I feel like a 0G roll you'd be more in a straight line. Corkscrew, you're kind of like a actual turn, in a way. If you know what I mean. Like a 0G roll, you'd be like entering straight and be exiting straight. For the most part. I'm not sure. Yeah, everyone says corkscrew, so that's what I've considered it, so sounds like everyone else is pretty much in agreement there. I know some people that might consider that. Would potentially consider that a 0G roll, but I don't know. Maybe not. Okay, so we're gonna build our bend here. And before I get too far, we can build I'd build the brake run. Then we gotta do a lot of smoothing and stuff. Fake your disappearance. What do you mean by fake your disappearance, Silas? What do you mean, man? Fake your disappearance. Alright. Basically, I want to see where the brake run ends so we can get that right. Alright, so right behind it, we're not going to autocomplete right there. That would not be fun. Alright, so we're going to do a block zone. Block section. Not the invisible one. Which would go to about the storage building, because the transfer track would be right here. You make sure a train could fit on that, though. I'd say about right there. Then we'll do one small piece of regular track here that we'll put it in its angle. I don't know exactly what the angle is, but we're gonna go with about right there. And I'll put another block zone here blocks piece here just to make it to where the train just has to go past that for the next train to dispatch, which will be fine. Okay, and then we're gonna do our friction brakes. And it's gonna go to about right there. That will be our brake run. Because at this point, why not? They'll think I died? What? But nobody will know. I mean, I need you for the season, man. We need you at Outlaw. And that should be good there. I always like to do the last bend so I can get that heart lining exit properly installed there. So, all right, now it's just time to try and smooth everything out and hope that this turns out okay. We're gonna trust on our hopes and dreams here. And hopefully we can smooth out this corkscrew. I'm a little worried about the corkscrew turning out a little weird shaped. So we're gonna try and smooth out these pieces first a little bit, then hit the center. Making sure that the shaping on it looks okay. Alright, I think it's turning out okay. That looks pretty solid. And then the final bend, the final turn here. Get that kind of smoothed out. And the last bit of track here. Because obviously that looks awful right at the moment. There we go. And we've got ourselves a complete circuit. And then, of course, what I would do, I might lower this just a tiny bit more. It's kind of high, but I think that's a good height where it is right now, though. Because you can kind of see this from the dock in a few spots if you're towards the front. Not too shabby. Yeah. Silas is my fun coworker. I'm his boss, by the way. He works at Outlaw, and I work at Outlaw and Powder Keg. All right, sheeping looks okay. We might have to do a little bit of extra smoothing, but overall, I think we did fantastic on this layout. We stayed pretty true to the floor plan. At least I tried to. There's a couple spots that are a little off, but that's all right. I think we did pretty good though on it. On the floor plan overall. I think we did. You're so flattered. What are we building next? So right now we're working on Wildfire and American Plunge kind of simultaneously. We're just working on this area in general. So now that we got pretty much almost got Wildfire's like layout done, we've already done the layout for American Plunge. The rest is just going to be decoration and obviously getting it functional and just obviously all the scenery and theming around trees. And then after that, phase 5 is going to be, our next phase is going to be Powder Keg. So Powder Keg will be after this. We'll be working on Powder Keg after we finished Plunge and Wildfire. We're going to get these completely done before we do Powder Keg. Powder Keg over here, the reason why I have some stuff over here is because I was just kind of testing a few things before we get over there. Mostly of how I'm going to be doing the transfer track and still somewhat make it functional. So, it looks like Wildfire. I'd hope so. That is the intent. Wildfire is a really pretty ride, though. Even though it's a very basic B&M layout, like it uses all their cookie cutter elements, it's still a beautiful ride visually. And the setting it has is just crazy because you have the lake in the background, and it's just an incredible setting. And it's definitely the most photogenic ride on park. You can see all of it from the dock, or the observation deck, and you're right up against that Cobra roll. It just looks great. Am I building Thunderation or the new ride instead? Both, basically. I mean, I can't really build the new ride until we know what it is. So, in the meantime, I'm just going to make this a construction site, basically, like it is in real life. I might throw in a couple of fun little footers around just to make it look real. Because by the time I'm done with this, we'll definitely know. By the time I'm almost, who knows where I'll be on the recreation in August. By then, we'll know what's going in there, and I'll probably work on it then. So, as long as I have a full POV and references of what it's going to be, we can at least get the layout or whatever it is done. Hopefully. And hopefully we have the tools in Planet Coaster, whatever coaster type it is, you know, hopefully we can. It'd be nice. Alright, so I want to quickly just do a quick rundown and smooth out some stuff a tiny bit more. Let's lower that just a pinch. And use the smooth tool here. Smooth tool's gonna raise it back up a bit though, so to be expected. And then we also have to insert the on-ride photo camera, which will be at the bottom of this part of the Cobra roll. I think the corkscrew needs a little bit more extra smoothing. Looks like it still has a couple of bumps in there that we don't want to see. But I also don't want it to shrink it down too much, so. But I think it's looking pretty good. Also, did you said you did some things with Fire in the Hole, right? Like evacuation stuff. Yeah, I did that today. How's Fire in the Hole doing? Is it working okay? Oh, no. Actually, when we got there, they let us ride one ride, and then it went down. They had a technical issue before the mock evac. But then they're working on some stuff to getting it operational again towards the end of last year, or mid to end of the last year. They've had some issues with certain things to where they could only run 3 trains. It might be after spring break or early summer before they get the ride back to where they want. They had to get some stuff approved by RMC, and it's not going to be done by the start, so it's going to have some really long wait times at the beginning of the season. Once they're able to get 4 trains back operation again, it will be a lot better after then. So, alright, with that being said, let's head into here and run a test. Actually, let's get a second train on the tracks, block sectioned, and see how it goes. I know it won't be spaced out properly, but ride isn't accessible. That's fine. I just wanted... Oh, it's going to give me the glitch where I can't test it. I might have to restart the game, because there's a... Sometimes it will give you this error, and it won't let you even test it. I understand why it won't let me open it, but like it won't even let me test it. Which happens, and usually just restarting the game fixes that, so... Maybe if I go back into editing and pop out, we can fix it? Nope. It won't let me. Maybe if I put the entrance and exits in. Exit. It's gonna be roughly around... Where's the... I can see it right there. Right there. Now it'll let us test. It made us just made us place down on entrance and exit. Wildfire has 2 trains. It doesn't have enough block zones for 3. I did put an extra block zone here, just because I want the ride to be able to function, as in once it passes here, this one can make it over the lift hill a little bit easier. It helps with operations in Planet Coaster, so let's get her going. Let's see how smooth this is. See if we need to touch up at any spots. Hopefully we don't. But I'm not going to do any custom supports until I get the terrain set too. We got to get all the terrain finished the way it needs to be. Because if the terrain's not right, then it means I'm going to have to make tons of adjustments with the custom supports, so I'd rather get the terrain where we want it and finished before we do that. Oops, bumped my mic. Do they have a backup? No, they just have 2 trains. 2 trains only. For Wildfire. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting that. We're gonna go into the ground. Whee! Might be able to smooth that a little bit. It wasn't bad, but... Goes through the Cobra Roll a little fast, in my opinion, but... It does kind of whip through those elements pretty quick. I think the last part here is all good. Yeah, we need to smooth that last turn out a bit more. It did not stop at the top, did it? No, it didn't. That's cool. And that's what we want. Exactly what we want. You should buy 2 extra trains. I don't know about that, but that'd be a lot of money. Wildfire doesn't really need it. I mean, they are pretty consistent with their operations on, like, keeping 2 trains ready to go, so... See what it looks like off-ride here a bit. Honestly, it's looking good off-ride. Still a little bit of a rough bump right here, I noticed in the POV, so... It's running pretty smooth, though. At least it seems like it is. Pretty nice. Operational. Wonder what it is about fire in the hole. It keeps shutting it down. I wish I could tell you about what happened to cause it to not run at full capacity right now, but I don't want to get in trouble, so I'm not gonna mention that. They're having some technical issues that they had to get approved by RMC before they can run more than 3 trains. But basically, they had to get approval from RMC to do the modifications they needed to do for it. So. But RMC took a long time to get back to them about it, so it wasn't ready before opening. So here we are. I can't wait to see what this will look like with custom supports. I mean, even without the custom supports, it's not looking that half bad. I mean, a lot of these supports suck, like right here on the Cobra roll. Like what is this? What is this? What are these supports? Like, what is that? I love just watching it go around the layout, though. Can I have a blast on this Wildfire? Why is it Wildfire? That's a powder keg. Gonna have a blast on this powder keg. Shooting through the Ozarks till the rails run red. Light the fuse, no time for dread. But we're gonna have a blast on this powder keg. Alright, I think the rest of the ride was pretty good. Smoothness-wise. And what we're really mainly gonna need to do now is just... get our on-ride photo in. Do I plan on putting on the workshop when it's done? It's already on the workshop, so just keep the file updated. But yes, it's on the workshop already. I think I put it in the description of here. I think it's in the description for the stream key, or the stream key. What am I talking about? Not the stream key. The code. The code for the workshop. Why am I saying stream key? I ain't giving y'all my stream key. Gonna have a blast on this powder keg, shooting through the Ozarks till the rails run red. Light the fuse, no time for dread. Alright, on-ride photo camera. We're gonna put it right here at the exit of the... You're facing the wrong way, sir. Why is the train yellow? In the photo. What the heck is happening? I know it's on this side. Alright. It's pretty close. Getting pretty close here. Oh no, I know the merch store doesn't work anymore. They did some sort of update with the merchandise on there. I need to get it all figured out. I haven't had a working merch store in who knows how long at this point. Part 2 you can't really see. 3, 4. Yeah, that's not gonna work very well. We need to be able to see all the cars. Car 1, car 2. Yeah, more so like that. We gotta go up and over. Okay, that should be pretty good right there. I think. Confirm that for now. It's not in the description. I need to get that in there. It's in the description of the videos, not the thing, but Alright, let's do another run through here and make sure those spots that we touched up are a little bit better. There's a little bit of a bump at the bottom of the drop, and you probably need to smooth that out. I didn't notice that last time for some reason. Kind of a harsh bump, too. I'm not going to touch the Cobra roll. I'm going to leave it where it's at. Definitely a few spots here and there I need to work on. And the entrance up there, we should probably be doing a little bit more. Tried to build this Plank Coaster 1, completely failed. My Planko 1 one was okay. I think this one's turned out a lot better than my Planet Coaster 1 one. Overall. My Planet Coaster 1 version was still pretty good, though. This time I used a custom Cobra roll. I think in Planet Coaster 1 I used the end game one. So I think I did it a lot better on this. The track shaping here is kind of awkward to me, so I'm going to... Doesn't have to maybe be at 0. It's kind of close to. I feel like it needs to level out a little bit more there. But we're going to have to smooth that out, though. Just going to bend it a little bit further back. Okay, that should be a little bit better. Overall, there is a trim break right there, but I might just put in a visual one. It doesn't really need it. Okay, was there any that I know the bottom of the drop, so we went and smoothed that out a little bit, so let's try again. That. Alright, that's feeling pretty good right there. Happy with that. That's a lot better now. The city background in Planet Coaster 2, really enjoyed building parks in that one. I wish we had... I need to touch up that turn a little bit more, I think. Yeah, I wish we had more biomes in general. City biome would be fantastic to have. And bigger spots as well. Being able to... At this turn needs a little bit more touch-up. Really, it just needs a little bit more of the smooth tool is what it needs. Well, let me smooth that. Is it because of that? Oh, maybe I should get rid of that, because it's not, the brake's causing a bump, a weird bump there. So, actually, let's do an actual trim brake. Because that, I know for a fact that can be smoothed out. With that, you can put the trims at any angle. It still won't let me. Okay, that's weird. Let's try that one. There's two different ones. Let's try, see if they'll, that won't let me smooth that one. Huh. That's a little poopy. I guess we're just going to go without that, and then we'll just put a visual one, like scenery-wise, wise with it. Because we don't want that weird bump in there. It was giving it a little bit of a bump. I don't want the bump. And I don't think we were really using that brake to begin with, and overall, so what I'm gonna do is I'll create a fake trim brake there, and then we'll do a fake trim brake here. Silas would be proud, so will Jake, because they hate trims, so I'm only gonna put fake ones in there that don't actually do anything. Just for them. Also because it just keeps it from smoothing out, so for whatever reason. Can we get a seat view? Yeah, we should probably test the seat view as well. Oh, I hit a coaster. Oops. Let's test out the seat view. I always do front bumper because I think it's the best POV in general, but we'll do seat view and see how smooth it is. Hopefully it's just as smooth. Right now we're just fine-tuning and making sure the layout is exactly the way I need it. Here we go. Make sure the drop is a lot better now. Yay, no bump. No bump. Nice and glossy smooth. Good. Jake and Silas can sleep soundly tonight. Looking really good on seat view, I think, so far. Yeah, seat view's looking good. At least I think it is. What do you guys think? I thought seat view was actually pretty smooth there. Does Wildfire have a theme song? I've none that I know of. I know there's some rides that do, like Powder Keg, which we found, and I have playing over here. Shooting through the Ozarks to the right. Look, we got a complete coaster running now. Thunderation has one. They played it actually when they announced the closure of it. They actually played it in the background. So, it'd be cool if they brought that song back. I think the Corkscrew turned out pretty good too. The shaping of it, the size of it, pretty good. I'm pretty impressed myself with that. Now I'm most likely going to do a custom catwalk as well. I'm going to try and attempt to do a custom catwalk. I've never really done many of them. The custom catwalk I did on Time Traveler turned out really good. Really proud of that. Like this one over here. Look at that. And the magnetic little magnets there that start the turning. They turned out really awesome. Haven't heard the one for Thunderation. Yeah, if you go to the short on YouTube, they posted a short on their YouTube channel of when they announced the closure. It plays in the background of that video, and I hope that they release the full song. Potentially, that would be cool. Thunderation. I don't know all the lyrics, but I just know it does. Thunderation. Dun 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 dun. Thunderation. I know it does something like that, along those lines. And of course we got powder kegs. Gonna have a blast on this powder keg. Shooting through the Ozarks till the rails run red. Outlaw Run has some custom music too, but it does it's all instrumental. No lyrics. It's a song that plays in the queue and it's part of the soundtrack that plays there. Bang, bang. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 ba-da-dum. Also hoping they find the full powder keg one. Yeah, I hope they can find the full song, because we only have that 30-second snippet. And I can confirm this year, because I've been running powder keg, I've been training over there. They do have the song playing at the brake run still, like the end of last season. So if you ride powder keg, once you hit the brake run, listen for the song, because it does play on there. So, don't want to miss out and sing along to it. Gonna have a blast on this powder keg. Shoot through the Ozarks till the rails run red. Anyway, I've asked them to find some of these ancient songs and bring them back. And of course, Flooded Mine has its own theme songs. It's always played at the ride though, so like that one's always been at the ride. They never did get rid of that theme from playing. Yeah, definitely listen for powder kegs, because it will be playing at the ride this year. Just on the brake run. They've been really strict about making sure it's a really good thing. They're making sure that all the sounds and theming for the rides are all working. They've been really getting onto like maintenance and the audio people for that. With that, like they are cracking down on it. Like, hey, all of our stuff needs to be working. Hey Joe, long time lurker. Thunderation was my first real roller coaster. Hey, same here. After firing the hole, I was wondering if you knew if they might bring the backwards car for its final season. That's a fantastic question, because the maintenance teams wanted to, and they actually pushed for that. But unfortunately, it will not be happening. Maintenance did push for it, though. Like, they tried to push for that, but it did get denied, unfortunately. That would have been fantastic, though. I would have loved that. Because I remember towards the end of last season, because we already knew it was closing and everything, but the maintenance told us that like they're gonna push to try and bring back the backwards cars for the last season, but unfortunately it did not get approved and it's not going to happen. So Thunderation was not testing. They were training today. I was over at Time Traveler, so I watched them train over there today. It was cool. Backwards cars back when you could film on the rides. Was that a thing? I don't remember that being allowed, but who knows? Back then, you didn't really have cameras, though, that you could really bring on the rides, you know? You didn't have phones that could record stuff. I mean, I guess a little later in its life with the backwards cars, because they took those off in like what, 2010, 2011, around there. Glad at least the maintenance team wanted it. That's cool of them. Well, thanks for the info. Absolutely. I'm sure there's a good reason they couldn't bring them back, and I'm sure it's the same reason that they took them off in the first place. From what I heard, the reason why they stopped doing the backwards car is because Aerodynamics didn't design the trains that way, and they were not liable. Nothing ever happened when they did that, but like apparently they weren't designed to be able to run that way, so they were forced to bring them back to normal. I don't know when they started the backwards cars or if it's been like that since '93. I'm not entirely sure, but when I know growing up in Silver City, I always remember them having the backwards cars when I rode it, and I was very bummed out when they did get rid of them. So, don't know how true all of that is, but No, it was cool. But they used to have, yeah, it was 2 cars that were flipped backwards. So I think it was a total of 6 rows that were backwards. But really sad. I'm really glad that they tried to push for it and make it happen for this season, but unfortunately, they were not successful. So first started in 2003, and it was backwards. Yeah, I remember back then it was. So it opened in '93. So I don't know if they introduced the backwards cars later on or if it opened with the backwards cars. It's a good question, because if it did open with the backwards cars, I feel like maybe the reasoning that they took them off that I proposed was incorrect, because then it seemed like they would have been designed to have them if they opened with them. But I could be wrong there. I don't know. Yeah, I wrote it back around the same time myself, around I think it was 03 or so when I wrote it for the first time. Because I would have been 9 at the time in 03. Somewhere around there. May have written it earlier, but I remember I always loved riding it backwards as a kid. Because Thunderation was my first big coaster as well, and it was a lot of people's first big coaster, so it is kind of sad to see it go in that regard, because of that nostalgic factor, and it really is one of the best mine trains in the world, so but it's definitely dated and seen better days, and I think it's getting to the end of its service life, really. They've had a lot of issues with it the last few years, so I think it is time to go, but so it's probably on opening. Oh wow, so that is cool. Can you try to do backwards when you build the ride? If it lets you do so, I don't think there's an option for it to do that, no. There's no way to do backwards cards in Planet Coaster. It would not allow that. I know that. Thunderation will be one of the last rides I actually build in here, so I do plan on building it, even if it's already closed by the time I get to it. Because remember, I'm starting on this side and going all the way around, so it would be the last ride I actually build in the recreation. I do plan on making it because from what it sounds like, it's going to be SB&O. From what it sounds like, and it's going to have the same fate as the OG Fire in the Hole, just sitting but not operating. I don't know if there's any footage from the 93. That's a good question. You ever get a rollback on top of the dragster or see one happen? I have seen it in person, and I was very close, but I have not been on one. A couple trains ahead of me got one, and it was getting rollbacks left and right, and we went over the hill super slow. But I know, from what I hear, there is no plans for Thunderation to be removed anytime soon. Like, it'll stop operation after this season, but there's no plans for them to actually demolish it. And as far as I know, they don't have any plans to replace it with anything. So, like, that land's not going to be reused. And I think there actually is an issue where, like, the terrain and everything, like, there is actually an issue with the cave in that location, as far as I'm aware. I don't know how true it is, but it sounds like there is some foundation issues in that area. So I don't think they would ever rebuild another coaster there. Again, don't know how true that is. Could be wrong. I also heard that Thunderation there was an idea to have Thunderation actually go through the cave at one point, but obviously it got scrapped. That idea didn't go to fruition because they didn't want to mess with the natural state of the cave. Like, that wouldn't be alright. Because they would probably have to... Who knows? I don't know how true that is either. I've heard that before, that Thunderation was originally planned to maybe go through the cave at some point. As cool of a concept that is, that probably wouldn't fly. You got maybe 8 rollbacks. Oh wow, that's a lot. All windy days, yeah. The time I almost got one, and it was having constant rollbacks, it was closed all day and it opened up with 10 minutes before closing. So we were able to get a ride on it before then, before it closed for the night. And that was actually my last ride on it before it closed down and got renovated to Top Thrill 2. And I haven't been on Top Thrill 2 yet. Not yet. The Marvel Mining Company thing wasn't just the real theme stuff. No, it is theme stuff. It really is, but the foundation of that area is probably not the greatest, so... So sad, because when I was a kid, Thunderation, yeah, super excited to go, since you could see the glimpses of it through the trees as you drive up to the parking lot. Yeah, you still have that too, and now you can do that with that and Time Traveler. I always have those memories too, getting excited driving down that road, and you can see it off to the right there in the trees. And now you have Time Traveler there too, which is even more exciting. Get to drive by that every day now. And it does kind of bring me back to those times when I was a kid too. Thinking about those moments, because I'm like, man, now I get to do this every day. But alright guys, I'm probably going to cut it short here. Have some stuff popping up, so I need to head out of here for now. But we might be back tomorrow. I know I didn't do much besides, like, complete this layout, but that's alright. Progress is progress, even if it's very little, you know? So... but I do want to... I was hoping to stream longer, but... there are going to be some storms coming in, so I want to monitor those storms coming in as well, and try and stay safe and everything, so... just in case something happens, if we have some crazy weather go through here. I'm not entirely sure when it starts. I think it's going to be closer to about 10 p.m. when it hits us, so a couple hours, but I want to make sure I'm prepared for the worst, just in case. We always have a good plan. We always have a plan for when we do go into tornado warnings, so... Fortunately, I don't have the best shelter in my house, but I do have a place I can go for shelter, so... kind of sucks driving through the storm, though, to get there. It's only, like, right down the road, though. I forgot to ride OG's Dragster. I'm thankful that I had to, but I haven't rode Top Thrill 2 yet. And I worked at Cedar Point from right after the OG closed and stopped right before it... Oh, wow, that sucks. Do you think we'll get tornadoes? I mean... I could see us getting tornado warnings. Will anything touch down? Who knows? I mean, it's Missouri. The weather's unpredictable. Like, it's very possible. I just know that there's a chance of tornadoes. So everyone that is in Missouri and in the affected area, make sure you're staying safe out there. I know I'm going to. So. But yeah, I'm gonna head off. Guys, thank you guys so much for being here. Appreciate you guys, and we'll be back hopefully tomorrow, maybe. And then I think I'm gonna have Sunday off, so protect the computer. The good thing is I have a backup technically, because it is on the workshop. That can be my backup as well, like my extra backup. So even if something does happen, I won't lose a ton of progress. So. The only thing I would lose is American Plunge and Wildfire, because I upload it by phases, so... Which might be better to just keep it up to date every time I work on it. Welcome to Missouri. Absolutely, you don't know what's gonna happen, so... I don't know, I have a big plan. I always, like, think about it, like, if I was to lose everything, like, what would I do? I do have some backup stuff to think about, like, that I could do, like, again... I do have the park on the workshop. That's always a good option. So, it's always good to have your parks on the workshop because that reason, you know, if you lose it, you have a way to recover it somehow. So, but yeah, appreciate you guys being here. Make sure you guys have a great day in Dakota tomorrow, and I'll see you guys next time. So, Put this on the workshop too. Yeah, I'm thinking about honestly starting to do that now, is consistently updating it. But we'll see. But alright guys, I'll see you guys later. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks and goodbye.
That fuse, no time for dread. Oh, we're gonna have a blast on this powder keg.